Amarachi was a beautiful young woman from a struggling home in Port Harcourt. Life had not been fair to her. Her father was bedridden, her mother sold vegetables, and her two younger brothers were still in school. She had dreams of becoming a lawyer, but poverty clipped her wings before she could even begin the flight. One day her uncle called. He had a solution. A wealthy businessman named Mr. Kalu, based in Abuja, was looking for a respectful young woman to marry. Not for love, but for peace. No drama, no dating, just marriage. In return, her family would never lack anything again. Amarachi thought it was a joke. "So I'll just marry a stranger?" she asked. But desperation has a way of silencing doubts. 2 weeks later, she found herself in Abuja. The gates of Mr. Kalu's mansion opened slowly, revealing a house so large it swallowed her confidence whole. Inside, everything was spotless, quiet, intimidating. Then she saw him, Mr. Kalu. He was tall, clean-shaven, skin the color of roasted coffee beans, and eyes that were unreadable. He wore a simple kaftan, but everything about him screamed wealth and calm authority. "You must be Amarachi," he said, his voice deep and even. "I've heard good things." She could barely speak. "Do you want this arrangement?" he asked. "I want to help my family," she replied softly. "And I won't deceive you. I'll be respectful." He nodded. "Very well. The wedding will be quiet. You'll have your own room. I expect honesty and peace. In return, you'll lack nothing." And just like that, she became Mrs. Amarachi Kalu. The wedding was small, with only close family and a few friends. She wore a cream lace gown chosen by his housekeeper. He wore his calm expression, no emotion. There was no kiss, no excitement, just an agreement sealed by silence. On their wedding night, he didn't come to her room. Instead, she found a handwritten note on her pillow. "Rest. We will talk tomorrow." It was the most expensive silence she had ever known. The first few weeks were like walking through a dream she didn't belong in. The house was filled with everything money could buy, but emotionally it was empty. Mr. Kalu was polite and distant. He provided her with anything she asked for. Designer clothes, a car, money for her parents. But he kept his heart locked behind a wall, and she tried not to care. She told herself it was fine. She hadn't married him for love. But at night, in that huge cold room, she cried. Until one day, she overheard him laughing on the phone. It was the first time she'd heard him sound human. "She's different," he said. "Quiet, respectful. I think I made the right choice." Her heart did a flip. Was he talking about her? Slowly, things began to shift. They started having dinner together, then short conversations, then long ones. She found out he liked old books in silence. He found out she used to write poetry. One evening, she summoned the courage to ask, "Why did you marry me?" He looked at her, calmly, thoughtfully. "Because you were honest. You didn't fake love. I've been burned before. I needed peace, not passion." Amarachi blinked. "Burned?" He nodded slowly. "My first wife married me for money. She charmed me, gained my trust, and then destroyed everything. Slept with my business partner, emptied my accounts. She left me empty and humiliated. Since then, I swore I'd choose peace over romance." That night, something shifted. They shared a meal like friends. Then they began taking walks in the garden. He taught her to play chess. She cooked him ogbono soup the way his mother used to, and he smiled, a real smile. One evening, she passed his study and he called her. "Sit, let's talk." She sat. "Are you happy here?" he asked. "I'm safe," she replied, "and I smile more now." "Do you still see me as a stranger?" he asked again. She looked at him slowly. "Number, I see a man who protects what he loves, even if he's too afraid to say it." He stood and walked to her, slowly. Then for the first time, he took her hand. "I don't want a contract anymore," he said. "I want something real, but only if you do too." Her voice trembled. "I never thought I'd love a stranger, but somehow I do." That night, he didn't sleep in his room. But life, like the ocean, has its calm and its storm. One Sunday evening, Amarachi received a strange message. "You think you've won, Wait till you find out who he really is." She ignored it, but the next morning a brown envelope arrived at the gate. Inside, photos. Mr. Kalu with another woman. Dates from just last month. Her hands went cold. That night she confronted him. "Who is she?" He sat down, looked into her eyes and said, "That's my ex-wife. She came back recently. Tried to blackmail me. I met her once to shut her down." "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked, tears already falling. "Because I didn't want to drag you into my mess. I've hidden my past for too long. I gave up everything for this marriage," she said softly. "All I ask is the truth." He walked to her, took her hands. "Then take everything. My truth, my future, my love." She cried into his arms. That night there were no more lies, no more contracts, only truth. Final lesson. Sometimes what starts as a transaction becomes transformation. Amarachi didn't marry for love. She married for money, for safety. But in the silence of that mansion, in the stillness of Mr. Kalu's heart, she found something money couldn't buy. She found trust. And from that trust, love grew.